Meaning we got some half-wit out there trying to flood the streets with fentanyl.
What was Mr. Rushton's part in all of this?
Anything I need, he arranges it.
David Rushton's body was discovered in his office.
Oh, my God.
3 dead. Frank Brandon, Danny Petrosa, and now...
David Rushton. All of them linked by fentanyl, either dead by it or dealing it.
That stuff gets out there on the market, it'll be like genocide on the streets. Users dying like that.
Does the name Alexander Fitzpatrick mean anything to you?
Well, in the 80s, Miami and the coke trade was owned by Fitzpatrick. Upper middle class English gentleman taking on the Colombians.
Do you know this man? Alexander Fitzpatrick.
Hold it there. Is that him? Is that Fitzpatrick? You were married to one of the biggest drug dealers the world has ever known. One more time. Where is he?
I don't know.
It's up by. Still on.
You might like a cup of tea.
Mrs. Brandon and I have discussed the situation.
I want to tell you the truth. I obviously had some idea my ex-husband was involved in something illegal, but I truthfully only ever knew him as Anthony Collingwood.
When was the last time you saw him?
About 12 months ago.
Here in England?
Yes. But he was only here for a short time because they had a business deal in Mexico or somewhere. He needed cash released, a lot of it.
Wait, okay, so... this was a year ago. You haven't seen him since?
No. He wanted to see our son William, and then he left.
You need a new name, a new identity. William, too. I'll find some patsy, get him to marry you. Keep you hidden, keep you safe.
I'm not going to marry some patsy, as you call it.
You'll do as you're told. I want some peace, and I need the finances to make sure I get it.
How much is this deal worth? By this time, I was sick to death of it all. Sick to death of being told what I could or couldn't do. And then I got a call from my sister.
Helga. Please continue, Julia.
Ever since I had William, she was difficult. She's unable to have children. And she's jealous. Always envious of me. I don't hear from her for years, and then she was ringing me up, giving me orders. Wanted to know if I'd done what I'd been told to do.
Julia! Gider ikke snakke mere med dig!
I was so angry. I went to David for help. It was his idea. He arranged for all of the money to be transferred to the accounts held in my name, so that my husband couldn't get access to it. David said that if Anthony would try to get back into the UK, he would tip off the police.
But he did come back, didn't he?
It was David's own fault. I want him to transfer the money back. If he'd done that, he'd still be alive. None of this is my fault.
Yeah, David Rushton murdered, Frank Brandon murdered. It's not your fault.
Well, Frank was going to be well paid, and he was supposed to look after me. I had to marry him. I had to. But I really hated him coming near me, the stench of his aftershave. David arranged the life insurance. He said it was for Frank's protection. Well, by rights, it's mine now, isn't it? I'm his widow.
Take her out of here.
You can think what you like. But I was only 15 when Anthony Collingwood took over my life. And he's a very powerful and controlling man. You have no idea who you're dealing with.
You're letting her go?
She has no idea what a powerful and controlling man I am. Put a tail on her, and then get the local plods out to pick up Helga Nolan. You follow up on Julius Danton.
They let me go. Yes, I said what you told me to, more or less, with a few tears thrown in. They told me about David. He was going to release the money. There was no need... Yes. I'm going to collect him now. This is William Collingwood's mother. We have a family emergency, and I'm afraid I will need to take William out of school. Yes. Thank you.
Mrs. Danton, we're very concerned about your husband. You said that he was coming into the station.
Yes, I was telling the truth. When I saw it in all the papers, I knew how serious it was. I'm sorry. When you were here before, I should have told you. But he begged me not to.
He was here.
You're not going to arrest me, are you? Please.
Oh, Sadie, that was a stupid thing to do.
I tried to get him to tell me what was going on. I tried. But he told me he was going to sort it all out.
What did he tell you? Sadie, your husband's fingerprints are all over a car with a dead body in the boot.
Jules isn't a murderer. He told me his van had broken down. He was trying to get a lift home when he came across this car and the keys were still in the ignition. Never one to miss an opportunity, our Jules.
What did he do with the boxes?
I don't know. Left them in the car, I think. Finding that body really freaked him out. He was in a terrible state when he came home. He just dumped the car.
Where is he now?
I don't know, honestly. He said he was going to give himself up.
If he contacts you again, you have to tell us, okay? We need to talk to him.
I will. I'm sorry.
This is Sierra Uniform 1-4. Eyeball on suspect leaving premises with suitcase. Over. Check PNC on Black Range Rover. Index Charlie Alpha 5-1 Whiskey X-ray X-ray. Over.
Can you keep the noise down, for Christ's sake? Sierra Uniform 1-4. Keep your distance. Maintain eyeball contact with both vehicles.
Target vehicle is now building up speed. Request uniform
Assistance for hard stop. Accelerating. 75. 80.
Suspect veering off the road.
We've lost eyeball with target.
Well, no, don't. Her head was practically severed.
Oh my God. I can't believe it. Did she have the drugs on her?
No, I think she just got caught in the crossfire.
Passports?
Where the hell was she going? Joan, I need access to Julia Bander's apartment.
Mr. Nolan! Mr. Nolan!
Hello, Mrs. Nolan.
What are you doing here?
What exactly are you looking for?
Nothing. I am not... What do you want?
Could you just stop that, please?
My sister asked me to collect some of her papers, so...
Your sister is dead, Mrs. Nolan. She was involved in a fatal car accident.
Was she alone?
Yes.
I hope, Detective Travis, you have search warrants this time.
We have warrants, Mr. Nolan.
What are you all looking for?
Where's your wife?
No idea. Shopping, visiting friends?
Do you have a good relationship with your wife, Mr. Nolan?
Do I have a good relationship with my wife? Huh? Do you want explicit details? Not that I think it's any of your business. But yes, in actual fact, I have a very good and very loving relationship. A very understanding one. I'm away for lengthy periods.
Leaving her alone to cook her jam.
Sarcasm doesn't become you.
Where were you last Saturday evening?
Harrogate. I was giving a lecture.
Is there someone that can confirm that?
Yes, my colleague, Dr. Angela Velodia. We were together all night.
Oh, I see.
I have an appointment. I'd really like to go, and you've got everything you came for.
Well, not exactly. Can you wait?
How long?
I'll let you know when you can go.
Well, well. Damien Nolan's got a nice bit of pocket money coming in.
What's that?
$5 grand every month. I doubt if that's from selling his wife's jam.
I can verify all the deposits. I do get fees for my lectures, and an allowance for my mother to pay for her needs. I really do have an appointment. I'm happy to leave you with the officers to continue doing whatever is necessary.
All right, you can go, but we're going to need all these statements. You can't leave the country.
I really do have a book and lecture tour.
The big bins over there have been set alight. Clothes, bed linen, more clothes. A very fetching anorak. Looks like Fitzpatrick made himself at home.
Pete.
What I have for you, D.I. Travis, deserves a dinner date, and you pick up the tab. 1. The mud from the 4x4 wheel arches and the sample you brought in from the farm are a match. So far, so good?
Yeah, well, considering that's where we found Danton's van, it's to be expected, Pete.
You drive a hard bargain. So, 2. The DNA profile for your Alexander Fitzpatrick is a match for not only the blood found on Petrozo's car, but 3, it's also a match for the 3rd bullet found at the drug squad.
So it was Fitzpatrick with Brandon?
Chinese or Indian?
Sir, we've got a match on the DNA.
Well, yes, I know. I've been over with tech support. Take a look at this from Rushton's office. They're not brilliant, but it's Alexander Fitzpatrick.
He looks a little bit young compared to the photo at Julia's.
But that's him all the same, and it's the best we can get.
Tried facial biometrics.
Facial what?
Facial biometrics. Capturing information about the shape of the face and comparing contours of eye sockets, line of the chin, bone structure.
Let's talk more action. Just do it and send us the results. In the meantime, I've sent this out to every port, airport, station, hotel. I've released it to the press. We're gonna have this bastard's face front page. We're nearly there, Travis. We're bloody close.
Sir, I did check his identification. FBI working with the fraud squad.
Federal Agent Joseph Marshall. You must be DCS Langdon. I was just explaining to your team that it appears we've trampled on the same turf. Anna, isn't it? Jack Travis's daughter.
Yes, that's right.
We've been investigating serious fraud against David Rushton. We had him earmarked for a covert operation.
Joan, would you organize some coffee in my office, please?
Well, actually, I was just leaving. Joan was taking me back to reception.
No, actually, we're investigating David Rushton's murder. Joan, coffee. Please, after you.
David Rushton was a real piece of work. He was moving his clients' money around like a game of Monopoly. What he does is wires the cash into an offshore account, somewhere with no tax on business or investment income and strict secrecy laws. Cayman Islands, the Channel Islands, Bermuda, Luxembourg, etc. Then, a U.S. front company take out a loan, say from your Cayman Island bank. If the FBI asks where the millions of dollars came from, the fraudster says, truthfully, that it's a bank loan. He even has the legal documents to prove it. The money's not taxable. Are you with me? It's a loan when you pay back the interest.
I know. That's where you pay it to yourself and deduct it as a business expense.
Exactly. He had a typical money laundering scenario. Consolidating funds via wire transactions, say, to Tampa, Florida. Then he'd wire the money to a London bank, convert the 2 certificates of deposit, use them as collateral for a loan from a bank in the Cayman Islands, then transfer the loan proceeds right back to the front company in Tampa. Result? Bloody confusing trail.
God, I'll say.
And that's why you were at Rushton's office.
Yes. I went undercover to ask him if he could handle a considerable amount. $3 million. I made it clear the money wasn't clean. I concocted a story about a rock concert ticket scam. He was not a walkover. He asked a lot of questions.
So why'd you turn the camera?
I was acting a part. I said I didn't want the meeting recorded, so I moved it.
So you must have been the last person to see him alive.
That's the risk he took with the game he was playing. He dealt with some very ruthless people. And that's why I'm here. You see, with fraud investigation, evidence always takes months, if not years, to collate. If this goes public, all that work will be for nothing. Rushton wasn't the only name involved in this. My investigation goes deep. You have no idea what you're dealing with, James. Now, I must go and sort this out with my team. Huh. I know you're accessing his computer and his files. I'll expect you to hand them over to Fraud Squad. When you're finished with them, of course. Thank you for your help.
When you showed me that photo, I wasn't sure it was the same guy in the photo at Julia's house.
The guy in the photo looked older.
Shh. Did you get a look at his shoes?
No?
You didn't notice anything about them? Something that wasn't quite right?
No.
They were handmade shoes, Travis. This Marshall, who brought him into the incident room?
I did. They called him up from reception, he showed me his ID, and then he asked who was in charge of the Rushton investigation.
Paul, get onto the fraud squad, see what they know about him.
Yes, boss.
What else did he ask about?
Well, when I said that you weren't here, he asked when we would be finished with the documents from Rushton.
Yeah, but what was he doing? I mean, where was he standing? Was he by your desk or what?
Well, he stood by my desk, then he went over to the board.
What was he looking at?
I'm calling about federal agent
I don't know. The details about Rushton, I think. I thought it was permissible.
Are you sure?
Yeah, and then what?
And then you came in.
Sir, fraud squad have never heard of a federal agent Joseph Marshall.
And who the fuck was that?
Hello. After scanning the two facial images, the old FBI mugshot and the image from the CCTV camera, now, there is evidence of extensive facial surgery on the second image. Chin, nose, cheek implant.
Meaning what?
Meaning you can never alter the size of the skull. So I can conclude that they are, in fact, one and the same person. One man, two faces.
And 3 dead bodies. I don't want any of this leaving this room. That understood? What was he after? Julius Danton. That's why Fitzpatrick risked coming here, to get Danton's address. Danton's got the bloody fentanyl! Out of the way, son.
She's not here. She went with the police officer.
Which police officer? Was it him?
I think so. Tall guy.
Container number 14, yeah? We got this wrong.
Looks like it's just full of bloody junk.
Sadie, are you in here, Sadie?
Oi! I know you bloody don't! Where are they?
Take it easy.
The fentanyl! Speak up or I'll split your bloody skull open! Come on!
James.
You little shit! We've had enough of this!
James, look! You're too late.
I want to see your wife. Huh?
Sadie.
Huh?
Sadie. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Sadie.
Look, I just want to get this over and done with, all right? My van had broken down, not quite sure where I was. Then I saw this 4x4. The door was open, keys in the ignition. Wish to God I hadn't. I drove it back to London.
You want us to arrange a solicitor?
No. I want to explain. Because on the back seat, on the floor, there were these boxes. I thought they were cartons of cigarettes, yeah? And I drove them to my storage place, left them there, and then I opened the boot. Thought there might be more. And there was this dead man. I swear to God I was going to come in. But then I started drinking. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry.
So you should be. Your wife.
Is she going to be all right? I need to see her.
Sorry, sir.
What is it?
She's not doing so well. The chemo's really taking its toll. It's like losing all her hair. The kids are going.
Oh, sorry, Mike. Go home. And be with her. That's your priority. You can take as long as you need.
I'm sorry.
You go home.
Thank you. Yeah.
Right, well, I'm off out of here now.
Yeah. You any idea what this is going to do to my career? If ever gets out, we hear the bastard here in my office, I'll be a laughing stock.
Well, photo of him's out. Everyone's on high alert.
And he got the fentanyl back.
We'll find him.
Won't bode well for you either. Oh, Mike.
Yeah, well, Mike hasn't exactly been a strong presence lately, has he? I don't think he's done a full day's work since this case started.
He needed time off.
He's been missing things, sir. I'm sorry.
Just don't, Travis. His wife is sick.
I knew she was ill, but I thought she was in remission.
She was. She's back on the chemo. And it's not looking good.
Oh, I didn't know.
I'm going to show you something. This is my first wife, Ellen. She kissed me goodbye at 8 o'clock one morning. She went in to work at the lab. I came into the station. At 9:30, I got a call to say she was dead. Brain tumor. No headaches, no warning. And at 10:30, I watched them lift the sheet from her face.
So sorry. Maybe you should go home.
Have a drink with me. Has it ever occurred to you why we never worked together since the Ray Dahlia case? It's not because I haven't thought of you. Because I have.
Good night, sir.
He's not going to say anything until the solicitor's here.
How'd she react?
I need time to confer with Mrs. Nolan first.
Of course, as she's the one who's been hiding Fitzpatrick. Now, he's already killed 3 people that we know about, and if he gets his way, there'll be thousands more dropping dead.
I'll speak with her.
What about the husband, Damien?
Apparently he still gets an allowance from his mother. Payments for lectures, but there's no big deposits in his bank accounts. How'd you get on with Julia's dad, Tom?
No, he's still in the cells, coming down from whatever he was on.
Can we tell you how much fentanyl he'd stashed?
Well, he claims there were over a dozen boxes. Now, how much are those worth each? I don't know, 3, 4 million?
All right.
One of those for me.
No, Langton. We're just about to start on Helga Nolan's interrogation.
And you're taking it with him?
Well, maybe he didn't know you were here. Look, I don't want you to feel like I'm undermining you.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does. Look, you and I got off on the wrong foot, and I know that you have a personal problem that you're dealing with.
It's not easy. I'm dealing with it. I am dealing with it.
Right, well, if there's anything you need, I mean, if there's anything I can do.
Nobody can. You better go. He hates his coffee cold.
I admit I did take in Alexander. But I want you to know that my husband wasn't aware of it. He was away on his book tour.
And he was never privy to the fact that you were harboring one of the world's most wanted criminals.
If that's how you want to describe it.
How would you describe your husband, Damien?
My husband? He was always second best.
So, previous to this, when was the last time you actually saw or had been in contact with Fitzpatrick?
About a year ago. He knew David Rustin was stealing from him. Julia too, probably. Don't forget he was under pressure himself, of course. His own life was in danger.
From who?
When you are as powerful as Alexander, you attract powerful enemies. He had apparently upset some of his partners in Colombia. They felt they were owed money.
Det ska du komma in på.
Jag vill gärna fortælle.
Okay.
And they thought your sister Julia had it?
Possibly. Maybe they thought by threatening Julia they could get to Alexander. He had surgery. I hardly recognized him.
Oh, what have you done, Jesus?
I took him in because his wound turned septic. He had a high fever. He needed my help, and I was proud to give it to him. To begin with, I hid him in the hen house.
We know where he was hiding, Mrs. Nolan. We want to know where he is now.
You will never catch him, you know. He's been 10 steps ahead of you the whole time. What is a job to you is a game to him.
So you went to all these lengths to protect this man. And what? He just buggers off?
Why did you do it? What did he promise you? Cut of the drugs he was trying to offload?
I never took anything from Alexander, but Julia did, scrounging for every penny.
Your own sister was virtually decapitated.
He had nothing to do with that.
Where was Julia driving to? She was going to meet him, wasn't she?
No.
She was planning on being with him again.
That is not true.
She told us how jealous you were of her relationship. How she had his son, how you were unable to have kids.
What Julia probably failed to mention was that I was with him long before she ever met him. I brought her to camp. I invited her to stay on the boat.
So this baby sister turns up. Just a teenager. How much older are you? Julia. Beautiful. Young, innocent. What did she do? Tempt away her big sister's lover. Fitzpatrick dumped you for her.
That is not true. I was never dumped, as you crudely put it. I had miscarried his child for the second time. He paid for Julia to come out and look after me. When she saw all the luxury on offer, she wanted my life. I gave him up. But it broke my heart.
Why don't you just start telling us the truth? Now, why would you protect him? He's trying to flood this country with drugs, never mind killing anyone who stands in his way.
Julia's taken everything from you. And now he's got everything. He's got the drugs, he's got the money. He didn't want you, Helga. He wanted the mother of his child.
It's not true. It's not true.
He's used you. What a fool you are. A foolish, desperate woman. Here, look. His son. That's what you were looking for in Julia's flat, isn't it? Right? Because he'd promised you the same deal, hadn't he? Run off into the sunset together. Well, he lied to you. Every which way, Fitzpatrick lied to you. And you're going to have a very long time to think about how you've been used.
Who's going to see me? Are you charging my client?
But too damned right I am. Withholding evidence and harboring a wanted criminal. She might receive a more lenient sentence if she's prepared to disclose his whereabouts.
I was to meet him at St. Pancras Station in half an hour. But if it's true what you just say, he won't be there.
Play the tape, love. Which screen?
That one.
What do you think? Is it him?
Could be.
Gov.
Go ahead.
Suspect is on the move. Repeat, suspect is on the move. Awaiting instruction. Over.
Yeah, just hang on. He's not exactly trying to hide, is he? Can't let him get on that train. Right, wait for my signal. Suspect could be armed. He's extremely dangerous, but steady. There's a station full of people here. Get down there.
What are you doing here? Like, stand down! Stand down!
What do you think? I'm on the way to Bruges. Book tour, remember?
Very bloody convenient. Your wife is currently under arrest at the station, and you're going to be joining her.
My wife? Why on earth are you holding my wife? What's she supposed to have done? I mean, this is an outrage!
Is it? Why? Are you still protecting a woman who thinks you're second best?
Yes, well, sadly, I always was. I gave up trying to compete with my big brother. You haven't been doing your homework, have you, detectives? I was born Damien Fitzpatrick. Because of the notoriety surrounding Alexander, my mother thought it would be beneficial to use her maiden name, Nolan.
Cuff him.
What are you charging me with? Loitering?
Helga bloody lied for Fitzpatrick right up to the end. How do you get love like that?
We had him, sir, and we've lost him. He's got his money, he's got his drugs.
He didn't give a shit about any of them. Julia, Helga, not even his own brother.
He got everything he came for. Except his son.
Can you describe him? Okay, thank you very much indeed. I really appreciate your help. Sir, William Collingwood was collected from school 15 minutes ago in a taxi by his father.
Shit! Find out where it was going.
Joan, get the taxi firm. I'll call you back.
Air traffic control says on runway 3.
There he is.
Get on the runway!
I'm not gonna get on the runway.
Get on the runway!
Stop!
Fucking ram him! Ram him! Ram the fucking thing!
Fucking child on board! What are you doing? Jesus Christ!
It's not quite still! I think you're going!
Stop you from killing yourself! You lost your mind.
That's my career up the spout. What do I bloody care?
I care. I care.
Sorry, I shouldn't have shot it like that. I lost it. You were right. You did right.
The plane, I saw it. In a photograph of the farm. Got her.
What are you talking about?
It was in a photo frame. I dropped it and I broke the glass.
Intruders aren't what they used to be.
Bordeaux, do you think that means? No. Someone he was waiting for?
Oh, dear God.
This is my fault.
Was it written up on the board? I mean, did you actually ever tell anyone about it? Listen to me. I'm going to be up for commander. Right? So I'm saving my reputation. I've worked too long and too hard to get where I am, right? To get that promotion, I have to be above suspicion. So you forget about this. You bury it. Just like we bury the fact that Fitzpatrick made fools of us all down at the station. You understand?
Well, at least he took the drugs with him. They're not on our streets now. Someone else's problem now, right?
Now you think it's straight. She has no idea what a powerful and controlling man I am.